Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Had a great lunch with the hubs today and got to talk a little Litecoin with the guy taking our order. So that was kind of exciting. He wasn't old enough to pour our beer, but he knew about Litecoin and had it and asked us about a couple other projects. So really exciting stuff. Great day. And I'm going to use today to introduce you to my friend Rick Costa. If you guys don't know him already, he's very active in the chats. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's just somebody after God's heart, and I have a lot of respect for him. And he also is really into crypto. So we're gonna learn all we can about Rick Costa. We'll be right back after this quick break. Give us a like, share this video right now. Do it now. Welcome back, everyone who's watching, and welcome my friend Rick Costa to the show.
Thank you.
Rick, am I saying that right? It is Costa, not
Yep.
Costa.
Yeah, Costa.
I should have asked you that before.
You always said it right, so I never questioned it. So yeah.
Well, good. That's perfect. So I've got the privilege to jump on some of your streams.
Cool.
Sometimes you're talking cryptos, sometimes you're talking about your relationship with God and pursuing Him every day. And pretty impressive. You have posted something every single day for the last 5.5 years. So if you guys are looking for consistency, you need to go check out Rick and see what he's doing over there. So what inspired you to start the channel?
Well, first of all, happy Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Oh, yes, happy Bitcoin Pizza Day.
And smash that like button and subscribe if you're not. You better, because we got to get Lisa back up to where she was before.
Yes, please.
Yes. So, well, let me just go back to the whole beginning of why I even got into crypto in the first place. Was I just
crypto was before the YouTube channel?
Well, YouTube, YouTube has only been recently using again on a regular basis because of the new platform HAPPS that I use, which automatically streams to it. Before, primarily Periscope was that was the starter. That was a thing where I started broadcasting every single day. In the very, very beginning, I would just sing a worship song on one video, then I'd do like a Bible reading on another video, and then I eventually combined them, and then kind of branched out to different things there. But that's another wild accomplishment is I've read online the entire Bible, the whole thing. Now we're going through it a second time. So that's pretty wild. And but used to be Periscope was the big thing, but now it's transitioned into HAPPS, and which is cool because it broadcasts to all these other platforms for you. Yeah, and I've been doing this every day, and people are like, I don't understand. How can you do this every single day? And I'm like, well, how many hours of TV do you watch a day? And they don't want to answer. I'm like, you do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. You know,
people do what works for them. You know.
Yeah, and I enjoy doing it, and I like doing it, and I get fulfillment of doing it. So that's why I do it. You know, it means a lot to me. Without God in my life, I wouldn't even be here. I was a suicidal 12-year-old kid that really was thinking about it all the time. And like I have a friend of mine that she just said because of the whole pandemic and stuff going on that her son is now suicidal. I'm like, I can relate. We didn't have a pandemic then, but it's crazy. A 12-year-old shouldn't be thinking about stuff like that. But yeah, I was, and I just finally came to the end of my rope because I had a very abusive dad physically, verbally, mentally. And so I just hated life, hated everything, and just was a wreck. And then I finally was like, God, you got to do something. And I just really threw myself all into God and reading the Bible and stuff. And then my life changed dramatically from that point on. And it was like, wow. So yeah, ever since that age, like I've never turned back. Always been just dedicated to him. Because I'm like, well, you saved my life. So at least and you died for me. So at least I can do is give my life right back to you. So
right.
But,
and you know how it affected your life and how it can benefit others. And then seeing your passion for sharing that love and that relationship that you have with God, with others is really encouraging as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'm like, try not to be judgmental. Periscope was horrible with trolls and just atheists trying to challenge me all the time and stuff like that. And I'll never forget, like one time, one person goes, "Oh, you hate me, right?" I was like, "Huh? You must hate me." I was like, "Why would I hate you? I don't know you." "Well, I'm gay, so automatically by default, because you're Christian, you hate me." I was like, "What are you talking about? I don't even know you. Like, why would you say such a thing?" But the church has hurt so many people in the past. Sorry for
Yeah.
that. But so I try like to, be open, be as not judgmental as possible. I mean, I still stick with what the Bible says, but at the same time, I love everybody, and I'm not going to judge you because you do something. So what? We all do stuff that's not necessarily right, and so,
There was one of the coolest cartoons I saw was um it showed how people see sin, and it was like bar graphs and you're looking straight at it, and so like it was like, lying was this high,
Mhm.
stealing was this high, murder was this high, and then it says God's view of sin, and you're looking straight down and they're all equal squares.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
sin is a sin is a sin. And the whole point of it is that we recognize, not for us to criticize and judge others, but to recognize our own sin and realize that without God, we can't earn his love. It's
yeah.
just, it's just that
Well,
reminder that it's to be chosen.
I don't even think it's a matter of earning God's love. I think
Right.
He proved by sending His Son. Like I have a son. I'm not sending my son to die for nobody. He sent His Son to die for people that didn't even give a rip about Him. So if He gave up the best thing He had, which was His Son, what else would He hold back from us? So I don't even think it's a matter of us earning anything. He already gave His best for us.
Yeah.
That proved, like, I want to have a relationship with you. I love you. I made you. I want to have a relationship with you. So proving, that whole, I have to prove to God anything. Well, no, He loves you. Unconditionally.
Yes. He
So
already chose us all.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's when you realize
We
that.
just have to
So
choose him.
yeah, it's so liberating, to know that there's nothing I can do to make God love me more or less. He just does,
That's right.
So, but anyway, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think of when Cannon, my youngest, he was having his third open heart surgery, and it
Mm,
was Easter, and we were in the hospital in Arkansas Children's Hospital, and I got really angry because I was watching him suffer
mm,
so hard from the recovery and the pain, when they would come strip the lines and it would cause like a vacuum to suck the fluid out of his lungs. And I'm just I was so angry with his birth mother that
mm,
because she did drugs and that's what damaged his heart. Um and it was Easter and I was like, I'm watching my online church and whatever, and everybody's, dressed up and talking about bunnies and whatever. And they're talking about the death of Christ. Well, that was the release. The suffering, like a parent watching your child suffer, I don't know that there's much worse
yeah,
than, I mean, I've lost a child, but I know I'm still with her, and I have that peace about it. But when you are watching your child suffer, and so for God to send his son and know what he would go through, um, it's just incredible. And it gave me, and then my anger turned to compassion for, you
mm,
know, that we're all sinners and we all are responsible for that suffering
mhm,
that Jesus went through. And I don't get to just be mad at his mom for doing drugs. I'm a sinner too, So there's been some heavy lessons, but it's good if we're learning and we're growing and moving
yeah,
closer to God. So
definitely. And we all go. I say all the time, life is like a yo-yo. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Then you go up, and then you go down. It's never always up. It's never always down. Just hold on. It's going to change after a while.
that's right.
When I was suicidal, that's the whole thing. Like I just kept hearing this like evil voice, like it's never going to change. It's always going to be this way. You're always going to be suffering this way. And it was like a demonic voice constantly talking in my ear. And so once I gave my life to God, all that stopped. Thank God. But yeah, like my cousin, she was not even 2 years older than me. She died at 34. I'm 51 now.
Oh,
Cancer that 60-year-olds get, bile duct cancer. And trust me, I was ticked. I was like, but
yeah.
God, I've been praying for her because let me tell you, I've prayed for many people and I've seen people get healed like all
Yeah.
the time. It's
Yeah.
totally normal to me. But she didn't. And I'm like, we're going to have words. We're going to have words about this because I don't get it. Why? And she has a son. And I'm like, why? But, we don't know the answers. We don't know. We don't know. So
we don't know. That's for sure. It's all just that journey of
Mhm.
learning. So you started your broadcasting and were really, driven by your relationship with God and all that. How did crypto come into play? How did
Well,
that jump into the mix?
I've always been a geek, a very big geek. And so I would always try to find out about new technologies and stuff. And so it was actually back in 2011, I started to read about this thing called Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And they're saying this could potentially be the money of the future. I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is interesting. Can I get some? And believe it or not, back then, because you could still do it, you can't do it now. All my Bitcoin and then Litecoin, like Bitcoin, I think was 2011. I first started getting it. Litecoin was 2013. So those are my two that I started with. I got them through eBay mostly.
Oh,
People sell
really?
it on eBay. Yeah, they would send me, whatever, and I'll give you. I actually have my Litecoin core pulled up, and I don't have the Bitcoin one because it just got too big. The computers couldn't take it. But April 12th, 2013, I received an eBay from a guy named Ubador. I always write down everything. Yeah, eBay. I'm looking at it, it's like almost all eBay. And some was those faucets where you get free, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, a lot of it was all eBay.
That's wild.
Yeah. And I just held on to it. Yeah. And then once it started getting more popular, then I started looking more and more into it. I got, I don't want to say the name of the wallet, but something really bad happened. Unfortunately, and I wrote down the date, 2018, January 10th when I started using this wallet. And I don't want to say who they are because I'm not trying to badmouth anybody by name. But March 2019, I stupidly took everything out of my Litecoin core and Bitcoin core and threw it into this wallet because it was very easy to exchange coins. And I was like, hey, I'm making money doing this.
Right.
And just guess what wallet I'm talking about if you want to. I'm not going to say what it is. And I woke up on a Saturday one day, and it was all gone.
Oh my gosh!
Everything I had accumulated back then, it was a total of, and I had all different coins, but back then it was $9,000. But I mean, $9,000 back then. Today,
Right, back
a lot.
Be a millionaire probably.
The whole point of not that much, but the whole point of it was for my kids' college. I was like, it wasn't even thinking for me. I want this for my kids' college because I just work a boring 9 to 5, and so I don't make a whole lot of money. And I was like, well, this is gonna be for my kids' college, and hopefully one day, da da da. And then I just woke up on a Saturday morning, and I was like, no. I was screaming. I was losing my mind. I was like, this isn't happening. What happened? And I emailed them, of course, and they were like, well, there's not a lot we can do. Do you have antivirus? Maybe somebody hacked in your computer. And long story short, they weren't helpful at all.
Oh my goodness.
It's just gone. So thankfully, I did have some on other wallets. And I was like, where do I have any crypto at all? And let me make sure I protect it. And got myself an Nano Ledger. I was like, yes, you're sticking it on that thing. It's safe. It's not going to do the internet. You ain't stealing my money again. And so little by little, I've been trying to accumulate. Because again, still need to pay my kids' college starting in December. It was like $700 a month. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to get another job. But so it was devastating. And some people were like, so are you giving up on crypto now? I was like, no. Do you understand how this thing has gone up and keeps going up and up and up? Yeah, there's pullbacks, we're in one right now. But it always goes up. I was like, why would I do that? You're not logical. Just think about it. This thing always goes up. Look at the charts. Look at where it was and to where it is now. Okay, yeah, there's pullbacks, but it's going to go back up. It always does. So no, I did not. I could have let it say, screw it. I don't want to do this anymore. But I was like, no way. I'm not done. This is going to go up again. So.
Well, and you've seen, from being in it and knowing about the technology for this long, you've seen a long history of it. You do see the future of it. And yes, it's volatile because it's new, but it's definitely going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. And I'm totally into it. Let's see, what do I got here? I got some cards here. What do we got? I have so many credit cards. So I got BitPay. We got a BitPay.
Nice.
We got the Litecoin, of course.
Very
So
nice.
if it's out there, I got it. I got the Fold, which is like now my favorite, because you just buy regular stuff you buy all the time and you get free crypto out of it. I'm like, yeah. So yeah.
What's not good about that? I don't know. Those
Exactly.
are all great. We'll put, if you've got referral links for any of that, I can put that in the description so that people can check out those other options and ways they can spend their crypto and then replace people, especially at these prices. My goodness.
Yeah.
So when you started hearing about crypto in 2013, did that affect your view of the world or our current financial system?
I'm always thought like, could this be the future? Could we really move towards this? And then of course I always heard some people saying, well, that could be the mark of the beast. Oh my God. And I'm like, first of all, if you're so smart, who's the beast? How do you have a mark of something when you don't have the something first? I don't know. Well, then stop calling it a mark of the beast if you don't know who the beast is first. Shut up with that foolishness. So I'm like, no, it's not the mark of the beast. Stop that. But it was like, it just sounded really cool and exciting. And I was like, I'd buy stuff with it occasionally, once in a while. I'd be like, I literally bought some. I have a video on one YouTube video. I used what's the app?
Speeding.
Yes. And I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I got a drink with it. And I was like, look, guys, I'm not pulling out any cash. I'm just showing them my phone. I just bought it with cryptocurrency. That's how easy it is. This is the future. So yeah, that's exciting to me, like, wow, we're not going to have paper money anymore. That's really, really cool, and it's unlike money, which is not trackable. This is trackable. So, but they say it's anonymous, but it's not exactly. But
I think that's the irony when people get into it. They're like, "Ooh, cryptocurrency," because of the way the word sounds. But then if you look at it, it's actually more transparent than dirty fiat than paper dollars.
I don't know where people got that idea of like, oh, it's all bad stuff. And I mean, yeah, there was that. What was it called? Silk Road.
Silk Road, yeah.
People were doing bad stuff with it, but people do bad stuff with cash too, and that's definitely not traceable. You don't write down the serial number before I give you my cash. Let me write down the serial number before I pay for my chocolate bar. No, So yeah, I think it's the future, and I think people should be excited about it. And we who know even a little bit about it, should be telling people, hey guys, this is where this is going. I think you really should get in on it, because I think later on they're going to be like, oh man, why didn't you tell me? I did try to tell you. You didn't listen.
Right. Well, we're getting a lot of that. Well, we got a lot of that when it was peaking right before this crash. Oh, well, you didn't, well, yeah, we've told you this for 4 years or more, So it's been pretty wild. So when you do talk to people about it, I guess that brings up a great question. How's it typically received by like your family, your friends, people closest to you versus strangers? Or do you, I know you share with your videos, but do you also share like in real life?
Yeah, after they're done rolling their eyes, I just try to explain it to them, and they're like, yeah, but what? I don't get it. And I'm like, it's not that hard. It's really not. I think people just sometimes put a mental block because they just don't want to hear it or they don't want to understand it, which is so unfortunate. I've never been that way. I'm like, I want to learn everything I can. I'm ravenous for knowledge. And so one thing that was really cool. So my cousin found I don't know if it was 2018 or 19, a paper wallet that I created for her for a Christmas gift. I gave her $20 in, I think it was Bitcoin. And she found it. She goes, how do I know how much is on this thing? I said, let me see the information. I was like, don't put put the public, not the private, because she was going to send it to me, but she scanned the whole thing. I was like, no, don't do that ever.
Lord.
But anyway, so I looked it up. It was like $300. And she goes, what? I was like, yeah.
Merry Christmas again.
Exactly. She's like, thank you.
I was like, I love it.
And it goes up and up. I'm telling you. Another cousin too, I'd given him one too. And he was like, wow, this is amazing. So, I try to tell him honestly, the easiest thing for most people, I think, is like Coinbase. It's just super simple for them. Not my preference, but it's easy. I have it Coinbase, but I have very little on there. Yeah, that's probably the easiest on ramp, I think, for most people. But
for most people to get started. What are some other exchanges that you use or comfortable with or would recommend to people that are just getting started?
Honestly, other than occasionally buy something Coinbase, sometimes Cash App, because that
Mhm.
is insanely easy. Literally, how much you want, boom, boom, you're done. It's so
Yeah.
quick. But I don't use a whole lot of exchanges just because I don't have money to throw in there. But what I like to do is try to take what I have, and I use like those coin
Swaps.
switching. Yeah. And I did that with a big chunk of my Litecoin with T Fuel. And
Oh,
boy, did I do that at the right time, because I was like, oh, Nelly, yes, thank you, Jesus. This
oh,
multiplier.
good.
I was very happy. Yes.
Yeah, and so T Fuel is the
Hmm.
well, that partners with, or it's the reward for,
Yeah.
holding Theta.
Yeah.
So you are a Theta fan as well. What are some other projects that you like, and why do you choose what draws you to certain projects?
Like for Theta, again, the technology sounds really interesting, intriguing. Sounds like it could be very useful. The whole, somebody's got to share your video with somebody somehow, and YouTube's going to be overloaded. So with Theta, that just makes it easier to bring video to more people easily. So I was like, that sounds like something necessary and needed. So I was like, that intrigues me.
Hmm.
What else? Ethereum, but that thing is just, the fees are just ridiculous. Get out of here with that. It's just crazy. Oh my God.
So there's a new project. Well, I don't know this all that new, but there's a project that I just found that we did a video about called Matic.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
the ticker is Matic, but they've rebranded it to
probably.
Polygon, but
Yeah.
the ticker still says Matic.
Mhm.
But it fixes the problem of they're actually big fans of ETH and Vitalik, and it fixes the problem of the high fees
Oh wow.
somehow. So
Yeah, I've
that's
been
kind of an
watching.
exciting
Yeah,
project.
because I
Yeah.
remember when you first talking about it, it was a lot lower than it is now. I was like, oh
Oh.
man, I should have listened.
You
But
should have listened to Litecoin Lisa. Yeah. So you're Bitcoin, Litecoin, you like Theta, and some of the other ones for the tech. With you having that mind for new technology even before cryptocurrency, I'm sure that's like an exciting part of
yeah,
this is finding new projects and
yeah, definitely. Oh, like speeding apps. Going back to that, when after I bought that drink at Dunkin' Donuts, I think it had $23 left in there because I didn't have a whole lot in there. Last time I looked at it, of course, now after this crash is probably less. But last time I looked at it, it was over $200, and I was like, "Yay, that's a lot of
oh, that's good. I did that with my Cash App when my kids,
Mhm.
like if they rent a movie on our iTunes account and they're like, or, I don't know, from whatever, and they're like, Mom, I'll just Cash App you. So anytime I have money sitting there, I just switch it to Bitcoin. And then
Mhm.
I looked up the other day and it was like over $1,000. And I was
Uh,
like, wow,
yeah,
it was,
somebody just, I don't know, they enjoyed watching the program, and they were like, "Thanks for praying for me," and they gave me like $20 or something. I was like, "I don't do it for the money, but okay." As soon as I
that's
got it in the
nice.
cash app, I threw it into Bitcoin. I was like, "Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
straight to
Yeah.
Bitcoin."
And I
So,
know the fees are a little bit higher, but it's still,
mhm,
to me, I'm better to get it out of fiat and
mhm.
pay a fee than leave it in dirty fiat with it,
Yeah, because it's not
staying
going to go
some.
up, it's Lord, and fiat's not going to go up. I mean, what's the best you get at the banks? 2%, if that now.
Oh, if that, yeah.
It's
They're
crazy.
already I don't know if it was in UK, somewhere was announcing, like, the negative interest stuff where they're starting to charge people now for holding
That's
their money.
Who would have thought?
It's
That's so
crazy.
crazy. It's so great. Like, we're older, so we understand this is nuts. Like, the kids today probably don't get it, but I'm like, do you understand this is insane?
Yeah, this is not how it
Uh,
was growing up, for sure.
yeah.
For sure,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Um, so where do you get when you're looking for those projects or coins or learning stuff about crypto, where's your kinda go-to for crypto news and information?
I definitely listen to a lot of YouTubers, tons of YouTubers, just to see what they say here. I have one or two friends that will recommend something. One actually did help um, take like $500. I had a Litecoin, and it was with the speeding one, Flexa. It was when it was still Flexa. Now it's AMP, but
Mhm.
he convinced me that, he goes, just trust me, I think this is gonna go. And it took like 2 years, but the 500 turned into 2,000. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Uh,
Nice.
so, but that took a while. But then, yeah, YouTube, and then those websites everybody looks at usually. And now Ben's got that new one he's been talking about. Was it Coin Pro something? It's really cool
I
site.
saw him yeah, I saw him. It's more is it more of a newsletter?
No, it's like a website with just click
It's
on
a
each
website.
article, and yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I have some apps on my phone always popping up with news, this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's definitely if you're not staying on top of that, you're gonna miss out on some
That's very true.
opportunities.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of things happening, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, definitely. So I know you talked about the reason you got into crypto and what the goal of it was to be able to put your boy through college. And it looks like that's happening in December, so pretty exciting. Do you have
Yeah,
any other crypto
graduated.
dreams?
He just
Oh,
graduated this
he
week.
just graduated.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
But the payments,
congratulations.
they don't expect the payments until December. So I was like, okay,
Oh,
good.
wow.
That's a little bit of time for a game plan to figure something out.
Hopefully the market will recover
Please, please,
by
God,
then.
please, please,
Yeah.
please. Maybe I don't need
Um,
to write another book. I do have one book out, but yeah, maybe write some
oh,
more.
you do? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. So you
so
have
really,
one book out. You're going to write another one. Is that part of your crypto dream or goal is to write that second book?
um, I mean, I've
Or is
always
it
wanted to write books. This first one
okay?
was more like a religious one. The next one I want to write, I want to talk about how I lost 40 pounds in 3 months. So that was cool. My brother, who's always not always, but he's like really, really heavy. Sorry, brother. Um, like now he's to the point where the doctor's like,
You're worried for his health.
congratulations, you have diabetes. I'm like, what?
Oh,
Oh no, 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 no. I said, that's not gonna be for me. So when I heard that, I was like, oh no, you're gonna lock down, get serious. You're not gonna eat crap anymore. You're gonna move. You're not gonna sit all day. Da, da, da. And in 3 months, I lost 40 pounds. So I want that to
so
be my next book.
that was exercise and changing your diet
All I
drastically?
all I did was I walked on my lunch break outside for an hour and I just ate less and didn't eat anything crappy like cookies or potato chips like that. And I
Mhm.
just cut back
High
on my
sugar.
weight. So I didn't change my diet drastically. I just ate a little bit less and just cut out the
Wow.
crappy stuff. And
I
40
think that movement is so important
yeah,
that, because then that builds muscle, then muscle's burning calories all the time. And
yeah,
with this, you know, lockdown situation, I think a lot of us have put on a few pounds. I know I've been committing myself to walking. I've been trying to walk anywhere from 3 to 6 miles a day, and started a Pilates class with my daughter.
oh,
But
awesome.
you just don't realize how much just everyday movement we've cut down on so much.
Yeah, we are way too sedentary just sitting down all day. That's not good. We're not designed to be sitting all day like that. No way.
Definitely not, definitely not. It makes me think of that, cartoon WALL-E, where the
Oh yeah, yeah,
humans are all giant, and
yep.
they're in floating
Hmm.
wheelchairs and with their computer screen in front of them, and they don't even see each other passing by.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
It
just
made me
so
think of makes me think of I don't know if it was you or somebody talked about the movie Idiocracy, and I was like, oh, that sounds
mhm,
interesting. It had to be you, yeah. And I
yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. But I was like, but you know what?
It's funny, except that it's
It's
true.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
definitely
goodness.
watch that movie. It's very funny, but it's a little
It's
scary accurate
a
sometimes.
little eerie. I mean, when they're talking about, when he tells them to, put water on the plants, and they're like, "Well,
Yeah,
we put
Gatorade.
Gatorade as electrolytes." And I think of all the GMO crap that they spray on our food, and, we're being told, "Well, but Roundup. We
Hmm.
won't have weeds, but we'll all have,
Hmm.
a fourth arm coming out of our head or something." I don't know.
Right, and
Third
that's
arm coming out
it's
of
it's
our head.
just it just shows so much of a problem that people just listen to what we're being told, and you don't think for yourself. That is
Mhm.
such a huge problem for me. Like I've always said, like people used to think, well, now it's coming back, but people used to think the Earth was flat, and then when they found out, well, guess what? Now we know it's round now. People refuse to believe it. Well, I've always been taught this way, and this is the way I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna believe it's flat. And da, 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 da. I'm not that way. You show me that I've been wrong, boom, I flip and I'm like, okay, let's go the right way. I don't want to be an idiot. Like what? No.
Well, teachability is a huge, huge, asset to have as a human, and not everybody is teachable, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone will listen, and
Yeah.
they've also been brainwashing in these indoctrination camps for 12 years plus preschool. "Here's the answer, now memorize it. Now I'm gonna ask you the question, you tell me exactly what I told you." You're
Hmm.
not learning anything, you're
Right.
just memorizing stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think critical thinking is, but I do see, like, as we're coming out of these lockups and things aren't making sense, and people are like, well, the CDC said this last week, and now they're saying that. And why did Fauci say this and now say that?
Yeah.
And so maybe some of that will turn on and get people to start critically thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. Whenever I hear somebody go, well, we're just trying to follow the science. And I was like,
Oh.
science told me that Pluto was a planet. And now they're saying it's not a planet. So that's the kind of science.
Science has an opinion too. Yeah.
It's like it constantly changes. Well, yeah, because we got more knowledge. Yeah, but you're acting like it's like the Bible of all everything. It's constantly shifting and changing. Yeah, that's good because we're learning more, so we're finding out we were wrong. Da, da, da. But you can't just completely trust science is accurate because nobody knows everything. Right. So yeah, and it's like Fauci says, "Oh, no mask necessary. Oh no, now we got to have masks. Oh now you need double mask, bruh. What the heck, And it's encouraging though because a lot of people that I know that I thought would not really pay attention and do the right thing. I'm like, oh, you are actually awake, so that's encouraging to me because a lot of people wouldn't be are. And they're like, yeah, no, something's not right. So I'm like, exactly.
And people are having those conversations. I mean, probably not everybody and not as many people as we'd like, but I even notice, my kids are young adults, most of them except Cannon, and they're seeing stuff on TikTok and asking us questions, and we're having these really great conversations about what's going on in the world and our financial system and health choices and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. There's been good and bad in all of it.
Yeah.
So your second book will be about your weight loss journey and your big wake up there with taking personal responsibility for your health. So
Yeah.
you've got your spiritual health, your physical health, and your financial health. Maybe that can be your third book. You can talk
There you
about
go.
your crypto.
Yeah. Because if you don't have your health, like, what do you have? It's like you can't do anything. Like you got to have your health, guys. You got to pay attention. Like it's so important. It's so important. Like the cousin I told you that died from cancer. I don't know. Nobody really knows why, but I do know one thing. Just, she was always dieting, trying this, trying that, diet soda. And I'm like, I always tell people, how much weight have you seen anybody lost switching to diet soda?
Never.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
And I remember when they used to have, this has been shown to cause cancer in laboratory animals for aspartame and stuff, and they don't show that anymore. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Makes you
Big
wonder.
pharma. Yeah. Critically think for yourself, folks. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and if we can go back to, more natural food.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize how processed our food is that we eat too,
True.
whether it's, spraying the Roundup on it or fake cheese that's made out of I don't know what,
Oh my gosh. When I was a kid, we all they declared everybody is high cholesterol except me. I wasn't. But of course I had to suffer with them changing their diet to eating just bleh, and
because that was the trend was
yeah.
so that's what they told my grandmother, and she ended up dying from Alzheimer's, and most likely that's because she didn't have fats, and your
Yes,
brain needs
that's what I've
fat,
heard.
needs healthy fat.
My mom now has dementia, and I'm like, oh man, and so it's like, ugh. And she
That's
wants to eat.
heartbreaking.
She wants to eat like cake and cookies and stuff. But Mom, you gotta eat some meat, some real food, something. Like stop eating this crap all the time. But it's tough, man. Like I don't want to get into it because she could be watching this later, but it's rough. It's really rough. Like, no, my dead grandmother is not in the other room. She's not there. No, she is. She is. Okay. It's hard.
It makes me wonder. My grandmother, had Alzheimer's at the end, and of course, dementia, very similar. I don't know the difference, to be honest. But what was heartbreaking for me was that she would get scared, or it's like she was in this alternate reality, like you're saying, where she thinks somebody else is in another room. And then I think about how I know I can connect with my daughter, who's passed away. And I think, well, maybe they're at some different vibration or frequency and they are connecting. Is that part of their journey to the other side, is seeing some of these things? I don't know. I think it's harder on the family that's left behind. I guess I can't say that fairly because I haven't been somebody that has struggled with that. But I just know, watching my mom, it was really painful for her. watching my grandmother decline like that, and then being worried about her and worried that she's scared and all those kinds of things.
If it was only dead people she saw, then I could be like, okay, maybe.
Okay.
People that I'm like, Mom, I guarantee you they're home. I could call them right now. Don't you dare. I'm like, well, you just said they're in there. You just cannot argue with them. Like, they don't care what you say. They believe it, and they believe it, and they believe it, and that's it. So you just have to just, okay, try to distract them and something else, and
have another conversation.
It's really hard. It's really, really hard. I mean, the cops have been called at 3:00 in the morning. I can't tell you how many times for nothing.
Because she really believed there was a situation.
Yep.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yep. So it's tough. But I do think it could be that whole don't have fat stuff, because brain is mostly fat, from what I understand. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's sad.
Interesting. It's amazing. I watched or maybe I was listening to, it might have been a podcast, but it was talking about food and kind of this history of how they have manipulated food and the narrative around food to benefit them financially. Like the whole have a big breakfast and just the best part of starting your day, whatever, was something about pork producers and somebody's interest in the commodities, and it was like the corn that fed the pork. Somehow somebody was benefiting from it. I mean, it was just, and I thought, oh my gosh, they are just, it's all about money. And that's where we have to turn on that critical thinking, and we have to start doing research for ourselves. We are our best advocate. We've got to stop reading what some 3-letter agency put out there as a guideline, and listen to our bodies and, learn for ourselves. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's so true when they say follow the money. It's so true. It's so true.
Definitely. So do you have a to kind of wrap up, I always ask people if they have a crypto dream or goal, and I know you talked about sending your son to college. Do you see something past that for you for crypto?
I would just
look like for you?
I mean, I would just love to one day pay the kids' college, pay all my bills, all my debt, because I got divorced, and that was a whole nother story. And maybe getting out of this house. This is a 3-family house, so I'm upstairs and she's downstairs, but there's no stairs in between. So I can just run downstairs and check on Mom really quick. But I'd love to, she loves it. But I would love to be able to get out of here and get something like maybe smaller, more convenient, because it's a pretty old house. But I just want to be able to be comfortable. Like, I'm not trying to get rich. I don't really care about that. But I'd love to be comfortable and also be able to help people, because I always have like I feel like I'm a generous person. Like, I'll give you anything you need if I have it, without question, not thinking about it. But I just want to be comfortable, and I really do hope crypto does succeed, because I think it will. I don't see how it can't.
Yeah, I don't see it going backwards. I mean, we're already so far in, and these large institutions are seeing the tech of it perpetuates it to me. They need this tech, like the theta thing. We need that streaming, that broadband sharing. So it's just going to keep going, I think. Well, thank you for joining me and sharing your crypto journey, and I really hope you write that second book. When you do, you have to come back and we'll talk about the book, and maybe we can get everybody to do some kind of challenge where you walk at lunch every day or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds good.
That would be great. All right. Well, you guys make sure to like this video and check out all the links in the description. I'll have some referral links that you can check out different things that Rick is a part of. Check out his YouTube and his HAPPS.tv. I'm going to check that out as well. So talk to you guys all later. Remember to love one another. Take care.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.